Hello everybody and welcome back to episode 10, year 10 of Let's Play Dawn of Man with me, Scruffy Joe. Now I'm very excited about today's episode because at the end of last episode we managed to finally get enough technology to enter the Neolithic era. So here we are. We've got all these lovely Neolithic technologies to look forward to, and we've already got 4 points out of the first 7, so things are going to start picking up. Now the other great thing is you can see over here we've got this area of fields which I have made, and people are going to go and plant crops over here, which is going to be awesome. They're already got some jobs queued up, and here we go. Look, man planting crops. This is it. This is the dawn of a civilization. We will no longer have to rummage around in bushes looking for berries. We also won't have to divert quite so much attention to running off and fighting bears and stuff like that, because we've got food is going to be available at the end of the year and throughout the winter, because we will be able to have bread. So that's fantastic news. I'm just going to put the game speed up on 4 a bit so we can have them wandering around at a good speed. We are also collecting some tannin. I'm not really quite sure why we're doing that. Probably because we need to make some... what do we need? Tannin makes leather, leather makes slings, and possibly some other stuff. I'm going to just make a couple of... Let's just do a few. Because we have got... Oh, we've just used up all the raw skins. But that's fine, because we've been drying far too many skins and haven't been turning any into leather. So that'll be fine. We'll figure that out. So yeah, look, planting crops. The entire village, the 27 of these wonderful people, they're out here sticking bits of stuff in the ground, and then later on we're going to be able to eat that stuff. It's going to be cool. It's going to be very cool. So the game now changes. Although we've got low food, we've got too much jobs to do, and we've got low food, that's alright, because they're going to do all these jobs and then they're going to stop, and then they'll get on with other stuff and they'll come and get food and things like that. As long as there's fishing going on and stuff, that'll be fine. And if there isn't, then, well, we'll just find the nearest donkey and kill that. Oi! 30 people now live in our town. 30. We're at capacity and we haven't got any food. So let's quickly find something and eat it. You. I'm afraid you're going to get eaten now. And you're also going to be eaten. Because, you know, short term... We need to eat some things short term. And there's a bear there. I might send a whole bunch of people after the bear. It'll look a bit tired and grumpy. There's possibly a few old people. Is that? There's more than one bear. There's a big bear and a baby bear. Let's kill the big bear. Everybody kill the big bear. We'll go after the little bear afterwards. Are you gonna... Oh, decided to shoot it on your own. Probably not the best idea, old woman. Oh, okay. We're alright there. Go on, one more hit. Well done. Okay, big bear is dead. Let's, while we're here, kill baby bear. Because baby bear tend to grow into big bear, and then you end up with exactly the same large animal is going to kill us all, and we don't really want that. A lot of red things going on over here. Oh wow. Right, that's technology. So we can either unlock some more fruit and then move on to flax. We can try and unlock goats, which means we would then not have to hunt for goats anymore. We will have to buy some goats from the trader when he turns up, but that would be really very cool. Then there's weaving, bridge building, megalithism. I'm pretty sure they made up that word. Underground mining, and also thatching. So I'm going to go for some... I'm going to go for goats or thatching. I'm going to go thatching first. I'm going to go thatching because it means that it gives us the ability to build a load of new things and upgrade a load of buildings. So we can click on here. Down here we can upgrade this to a thatched hut. We don't have any straw. Do we have any straw? We've got 2 straw, so we could turn one thing into a thatched hut. But arguably that's possibly not what we should be doing right now. Wrong button, Joe. We can also probably now build some other stuff. So that here's your hut. So that's cool. Storage wise, we can now also build a granary, which is going to be very important. And we can upgrade to storage huts from storage tents. So that's also going to be very cool. And I think production wise, I don't think anything's changed. And spiritual wise, we're waiting to get the megalith technology a bit later on. Transport happens much later on, although we can build a bridge, which would be handy. And you would find basically where there is a ford, which I think is there is the slightly paler, shallower bit. And you just build a bridge across it and everyone walks faster. And what we'll probably end up doing is build a big gate and have this all walled in. But that's for the future. We don't have to worry about that quite yet. Actually, I haven't really seen very many invading people. They normally turn up a couple of times, once or twice a year, and fight you and try and rob you and stuff. But that hasn't really happened. Everyone's starving hungry, and nobody wants to eat raw food. And do you know what? I don't blame them, because I wouldn't want to eat raw food either. I think maybe it might be worth collecting a few more. Ooh, what's going on over here? What are these little stripy things? They look like handsome animals. I don't think I've killed any of those. Go and kill that. If you still get technology for killing an animal for the first time, so it's still a good thing to do. Is this meat drying yet? No. Put it on the rack. Come on. Sort yourselves out. I'm sure I was thinking about something, and I've just remembered what it was. It was... Stop pressing the wrong button. It was my desire to build a granary, which I will put on this hill by this field. There you go. It's going to require some hay. That's okay. It'll also, a bit later on, you need mud for these things as well, but I'm not quite sure. I think you collect it from the river. I'll have to double check. And as I say, I don't think we're quite at the point where we need it. Now we are low on food again, but that's okay. People went out, did some hunting, did some fishing. All of that food has now been dried out and eaten. We're also low on flint, which makes me a bit suspicious that we might not be gaining any flint at the moment. So let's just quickly switch it to the view where you can find things. Oh, there's a mammoth. Flint, flint, flint. Where are you, flint? That's flint. Is that the flint you have to get underground digging flint for? I think maybe this might be a slightly better flint to get. So let's assign a flint getting job. Just trying to get both of those in the circle. Hold on. I'm probably not looking at this from the right angle. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Right, so both of those have now got a yellow outline, so that's cool. And I think we would like maybe 2 people to go and grab the flint. Is this flint? Oh, nearby flint. Let's go and grab that as well. I really must stop pressing the wrong button. There's 2 sorts of flint there. Great. Cool, so that will solve the flint. I don't want to say crisis. Crisis is a bit of an overstatement at the moment. But look, things are growing. We've got the beginnings of crops. Yay! Right, let's turn the speed back up a bit because it is now summer. And look at those bad boys go. Barley, barley. The one I can't pronounce, and Emir. I probably can't pronounce that either, to be perfectly honest. But there you have it. So yeah, we've averted that crisis of not having any flint, and not having any flint is almost as bad as a crisis as not having any food, because if you don't have any flint, it's very difficult to make new tools, and if you don't have tools, it's very difficult to do anything. In my personal life, I like to consider myself to be somebody who is good at making random sort of homemade tools for the task at hand, normally out of sticks and wood and stuff like that, but with a bit of rope. I reckon I might make quite a good Stone Age man, although I think my hair's long enough, and certainly not at the sides where it's all shaved. Check this out, this is world-changing stuff right here. Oh, somebody starved. I feel bad for that guy. He shouldn't have starved, because, you know, he just needed to hold on for another few months of being hungry, and then he would have been fine. Right. What's next on the plan, then? Probably just zooming around. We could kill a mammoth. I mean, it's the Stone Age thing to do, isn't it? She's a female, though. She might meet a male and then make babies. So, I do like a baby mammoth. They're cute. They're very, very cute. What we also need to do is, because we got... Basically, we're at capacity. So, as and when we get straw, which we're going to have soon, we do need to upgrade these. Now, we need mud. So, we really need to be gathering mud. I'm not sure how we do that. So, work area, there we go, collect mud. Aha! Collect mud. Collect more mud. Yes, please. We want collect all of the mud. Where's another? There we go. Get more mud from over there. Thank you. Thank you, please. Mud. And so what do we need? We need to go into the manage section, find out the resource limits, find mud, because we're going to need more than 10. We're going to need at least 20 mud. Yeah. Get a nice big pile of mud. Otherwise you're not going to be able to build any thatched roofs. Hey, we're storing berries in the granary. I immediately want a second granary. I don't know why, I just feel like having two would be better than having one. So we can also extract water in potteries, but I'm not really sure why we need that, because everyone's... Oh, I suppose everyone's going down to the river and drinking, and maybe if one person went down to the river and just collected some water in a pot, then we could bring it back to the camp and people wouldn't have to walk down to the river. That sounds like a good theory, doesn't it? There we go. Look, we've already collected 10 mud, and we've got knowledge for doing that. This is knowledge that my children collected by the time they were 1 year old. They, yeah, Dad, I've got mud. Well done. You didn't speak because you're only, you know, less than 1 year old, but you have given me mud. Thank you. Well done. That's... If you're a parent, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I wonder, I'm now wondering, when the next trader turns up, can we trade mud? That would be really cool. And there we go, we've got water as well. So this is all sorts of stuff that I have obviously failed to do. And look, here he goes. I just pointed at the screen, that's unhelpful. A man just walked into this hut with a load of water on his head. In a jug, I should say. His water was in a jug, it wasn't just on his head. That would be somewhat miraculous. So, right. There we go, another tree fell down. Granary, got food in it. Not drying any food at the minute, which is a bit weird. We should have some sort of meat. I might go and find an animal and kill it. You look like a big chunky animal. Let's see what food is inside you. Okay, let's just check the levels. Flint is back up. Stone is right down, but we don't really need stone yet. But I will just make sure there's a pickaxe on there and a hand grabby thing there. Just get rid of that stone. We don't really need it there. Probably collect that at some point as well, but not yet. And look, autumn, harvest time. Check it out. We got grain. We got straw. I'm actually going to make a second bonfire because in order to turn all of this stuff into bread, you're going to need to bake it. And we are basically... Yeah, we've only got one fire, so that sort of limits the amount of... Why can't I find the fire? It's a production thing, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, so we'll have another fire over here. And that way more people can get access to the fire and more people can bake bread. And we can end up with a granary full of bread and flour and everything will be great. And we also should see the haystacks becoming massive at some point soon. And then what we can do is we can go, hey you, upgrade to a storage hut. Hey you, don't upgrade to a storage hut. Because we've found if you do more than one at once, you don't have quite enough builders. So somebody's going to come over here with some mud and some straw and some wood and all the other stuff that we've got lying about. Because we have got loads of it lying around. And that's going to just gradually upgrade that, and that will give it more slots, I think, to store stuff in. Oh, somebody died of old age. Where were you? Oh no, you've died in bed. Oh, I suppose that's a success story, isn't it, really? If you die in bed after having a good Stone Age life, then that's got to be good. So here we go. This is why you only do one at once, because it will take them a while, and during that time there may well be a pile of stuff on the floor. And this is also the other reason why you don't do all of your houses in one go, because if you do all of your houses in one go, then suddenly no one has anywhere to sleep while everyone starts working a little bit at a time, which is a nightmare. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Lots of haystacks getting bigger, big piles of whatnot all over the place. I think we probably need a second mortar as well, because if we're gonna, we now have 46 grain. We definitely need a second mortar. So let's just find the old build button, production, and we need a mortar, please. And let's pop that up. We're getting a bit clustered here. Let's put it up here. Let's put it there. That'll be fine. People can walk past it. And that'll be groovy. And it's turned into like a little hive of industry down here. We already have 5 loaves of bread. Still got some raw meat drying off somewhere, but that's cool. We will now be fine, because throughout the entire winter, all the while we've got logs, we can keep the fires burning, and all the while the fires are burning, we can turn flour into bread. And you can turn corn, or sorry, grain into flour any old time of the year, so it's not a big problem. They're getting workload complaints, and that's understandable, because what I've done is I've shifted from having too many people without really a decent food source, and now I've got to a stage where I've got plenty of people, but not quite enough to do all of the harvesting which I wanted them to do. Which is why I keep getting this workload problem. You see, we've already got 100 bits of straw. That's massive. So right, tradey person, what do you want to give me? Nothing of any use. That's a pain. Okay, trader, you have failed to be any use to me. Be gone. Right. 100 grain, free knowledge. Oh look, we're up to 9. This is where the game starts to get a little bit confusing, and you sort of think to yourself, what's going on? What have I missed? I am going to go... Should we go for goats? Should we go for goats? Go for goats. Or shall we make this? I'm going to go for goats. Right, the next time a trader turns up, he's going to have some goats. And we're going to then have to try and buy those goats. And we're going to have to try and be lucky, because unfortunately, I don't think the game tells you if it's a man or a lady goat. So you have to just buy them all and then see. There's no sort of way of looking at the goat before you make the purchase. It's a weird thing to have said. Anyway, so we are now going to be fine. Although we have got low food, we are low on food. Yes, that's fine. But we have 2 people over here furiously mortaring up grain and turning it into flour. And then once that has happened, we should have some other people running over here and making bread. And that's fine, as long as, I mean, we've got potentially an absolute ton. 1 grain turns into 1 flour. 1 flour turns into 2 bread. Potentially we've got 172 loaves of bread. So we actually don't have low food. We do have low food, but potentially we've got an absolute ton of food. So much food that everyone will end up being... what's that thing you get? It's an intolerance of wheat. Gluten intolerance. That's how much we've got. And look, isn't that much nicer? Check that out. So you get 12 slots up to 18 slots. And it looks much more sturdy. I think the oh, I've broken time is also reduced as well. So while it is winter, we might as well do that. Because people are going to be wandering around not doing anything. Oh, a sledge just broke. And I will also do 1 and 2 huts. Just 2 for the time being. Because like I said, I don't want people taking them apart and then freezing to death. Because that would be very bad. I'm not even actually sure if the skins are reusable. I don't suppose they are. That would be ridiculous. Because they've been... I mean, these skins have been on the buildings for... I don't know... a good long time, probably about 5 or 6 years. Well, this one was probably one of my first tents. There's probably 10-year-old skins on top of this, so that's probably no use to anyone. But as you can see, we are now, look, 12 bread. This number is going down. This number is remaining about the same. This number is massively going up. So it's all going to be absolutely fine. As I predicted, we will no longer ever suffer from lack of food. What we will now do is just gradually ramp up the amount of people who live here until there's about 50, and then go sort of nuts. Just start producing all sorts of things really, really quickly. Chopping down trees, building wooden palisade walls, building some watchtowers. It's all going to start to kick off quite fast. And here we go. This is turning into a nice little roundhouse. I do admire the way they weave those walls. That's really cool, don't you think? And then they stick the mud in the walls to make it like that. And then you thatch the roof. Thatch that, thatch that, thatch. Very cool. And now, instead of 3 people with 4 slots of stuff, you got 4 people with 4 slots of stuff. So it's also, I think, it makes everything better for the people who live inside it. So you get resources last 1.5 times. Over here, whoops, you've got resources last 2 times. So basically, everything becomes better by having better buildings. And that's kind of what you would expect with the way that civilization comes on. So we're now getting towards the end of winter. We are nearly done for this episode. It's gone on a little bit longer than I would normally have expected, possibly because I've been rabbiting on and extolling the virtues of ludicrous amounts of grain, which people are still now picking up. So I've obviously gone a bit over the top with my food. I think what I might do is think about maybe deleting some barley. Are we under attack? We just got raided by these guys and they killed someone. Aw, killed 2 of my guys. 2 of my guys got killed. That makes me cross. We did kill 1 for 1, so I suppose there's no real argument about who won. It was a draw. All I wanted to do was have slightly less farming to do. Seems unkind. It's spring. Time to press pause. Time to move on. So let's just see where we were. We are moving into the world of thatch. We have got crops. We still haven't picked up quite all of the straw, but we will get to that, and we will thatch some more buildings in the next year. This is going to be a ongoing period of change in the tribe. It's going to grow. It's going to get better. It's going to have nicer conditions. Soon we will have all the mod cons, like, you know, flax. Anyhow, I hope you're still enjoying this. I'm still loving it. I am absolutely having a great time playing this game. You know, if you think you might like it, go out and buy it. Give it a shot. Stick it on your wish list on Steam or something. I'm sure the developers would love it if you bought their game. It is great. It's definitely worth your time. And yeah, if you are enjoying it, then I will see you next week for another episode. Thank you very much now. Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye.